You know, I shared with some of the young people, Reverend Jackson was a was and is still a huge hero of mine. And he tells this story that if you come up here and knock me down right now, that's on you. But if you come back next week and I'm still on the ground, that's on me. This whole notion of resilience is about taking not just the life's knockdowns and hurdles, but also we also need to know how to be resilient in the good times too. You know, when we're thriving, when you don't get comfortable and you don't, stay where you are, you're constantly pushing forward. So this is what this concept of resilience is about. And this workbook really, I'm gonna skip to the end a bit. This workbook, I hope, becomes something that you ask the question, how we make it communal, that we can take back to our families, not just to our teams, but to our children, and we can wrestle. This is a resource for all of us to use. So let's start with the first habit of attitude. Your attitude, the things you wake up and the things you say to yourself when you first wake up in the morning and how you kick off your day, it is absolutely critical. It really could dictate the rest of your day. The mayor, I think, really did a good job of talking about, he came out with a different attitude this morning after, all was going on. But then this opportunity to rewire and how that translates, and it's really it's not just a ripple effect, it's a domino. Because if you start out the day with your team and your attitude is this way, and then that's gonna trickle down to everyone around you. And so this notion of taking action steps to cultivate a positive mindset, I didn't realize until I was on a treadmill while I was writing the book. This podcaster came on and he said gratitude is a key component to resilience. I was like, whoa, man, I didn't realize that. How this notion of being grateful for who we are, what we have, and where we are dictates the rest of our day and how we move and how we interact with people and how we do our work and how we do our business. And so this notion of gratitude is incredible. And then in the middle of all that, it goes back to the whole show me your friends and I'll show you your future piece. Make sure the people around you are centered and their attitudes are right. So if you keep a bunch of negative people around you always, then that is going to impact and affect your attitude. Because it again is about who we have around us. But more importantly than anything, it's that self-talk. Sometimes, we have to be our own motivation. We have to be our own inspiration. And sometimes, I don't think I'm crazy. I talk to myself all the time. I got no problem with talking to myself. And I'm having real conversations with myself. And really at the top of the day, it's that grounding of the things I say to myself, which really does impact and dictate the rest of our days. There are different things that we can do around meditation, around prayer, but it's something about this centering of ourselves and starting these conversations and this self-talk that helps propel us toward kicking off this road to resilience. Let's go to habit number 2, work ethic. And by the way, in the workbook, we have various activities that we can dive into. What does it look like when you have a bad day? Write it down. Who are the people? This is a real opportunity to survey more than a whole lot of things. It's a real, one of the constant refrains you keep hearing here is take a look at the people around you. Look at the people in your life who's pushing you. I really press this home the last couple of days with the young people. Are these people pushing us forward? Are they holding us back? Like, put the mirror up. And then sometimes it's a hard mirror. Who is around you? Who is pushing you? And then, there's nothing wrong with embracing positive affirmations. I love when I sometimes see images on social media, or even sometimes you go to people's offices or houses, and the first thing you see are a bunch of stickies everywhere of positive affirmations. Those are the kind of people that you want around you. That people got in their mirror, they got stickies up everywhere, they got all kind of positive. You walk in somebody's office, that's how you maintain an attitude. This notion of work ethic, habit number 2. It's really success and being able to continue to propel forward is really done brick by brick. It's not going to be in one fell swoop. Yes, we have individual successes and moments of success and triumph where we're achieving our goals and victories, but that only happens when we brick, by the consistent habits and time we spend. That's how we demonstrate a strong work ethic, doing things over. And so in this, I offer some very basic tips. Establish a daily non-negotiable. There's just something I'm gonna do every day that's just non-negotiable. No matter what I have to do with kids, family, wife, husband, that's just something, just one thing to establish that's a non-negotiable, and you begin to put this into practice, and that helps you then establish more than one thing. Then you can lay 2 things on the table. It helps you prioritize. And so establishing a daily non-negotiable. And then this is, because if you're like me, I could procrastinate. I could procrastinate a lot. And so the temptation is to always do the easy thing first. And I literally, in my hotel room right now, there's a checklist I'm trying to get down. And the temptation is just check through the easy stuff first. But what I suggest here on this road to developing a healthy work ethic is go ahead and just do the difficult thing first. Just tackle the hard things, get it out the way. Because there's something about getting the hard thing, the hard task out of the way that's also liberating. Because the rest of it is easy. Yeah. And by the way, this is what I share with the young people. These are things that we need reinforced. There's nothing rocket science, ladies and gentlemen, about what I presented here and what I am presenting, what is presented in the book. I'm trying to help us fortify our journey. I'm trying to help us fortify some habits that before we know it, we're resilient and we're pushing through and making it through. And yeah, it sounds, real simple, but it's hard to put the hard thing first. Nobody wants to do the hard thing first. I know I don't. But there's something about doing that helps build our work ethic. And then this notion of shifting our focus to the process. It's easy to lose our drive, and instead of obsessing over the final outcome, focus purely on the effort put into today. Celebrate the fact that you showed up and put in the work. A lot of times we don't do that. We have a hard time, acknowledging and patting ourselves on the back and saying, hey, it is a process. And I'm just glad I showed up for the process. I'm glad I have a process that I was even able to show up for. And so on this notion of the reflections on work ethic, what is the one area of our life where you have relied on occasional effort instead of consistency? How can you structure your daily routine to prioritize sustained discipline and focus? Think of a time you successfully navigated a major change or setback. How did your personal work ethic play a role in that victory? These reflections allow us to be honest and to put it in front of us and just write it down. And I think by writing it down and being able to reflect in this way, again, is helping us build up our resilience. And on this notion of agility, this was fun talking to the young people the last couple of days about agility, when obstacles and setbacks actually carry potential for growth and transformation. When the door closes or when something doesn't really work out the way you want it to work out, what do you do? Do you just get stuck, or have you learned how to pivot and learn how to move? And the young people, they were all over this. They knew how to, okay, when one thing bad happens, or I failed a test. I'm gonna keep on trying. I'm gonna keep on practicing. I'm gonna keep on doing homework. So a couple of things I offer here: embrace small changes. Embrace small change. Start altering your daily routines. Take a different route to work. Try a new type of food. The order of your morning. Flip the script. Just flip the whole script and do something disruptive and change. Make a small change. And when we say here, when you train your brain to handle small shifts, you build the mental flexibility to handle the big shifts. I tell people, I don't like people who are squeaky clean around me, who ain't been through nothing. I want some people who have fallen, who have failed, because I know when something crazy happens, they're not going to trip out. They're not going to lose their cool. They're going to be able to bounce back up right with me, and we're going to keep going. It's something about being agile and disrupting our lives. And by the way, keeping people around us who understand disruption, who aren't scared. You run a city. You all run a city. So if anybody knows about agility, you do. Pause before reacting. This is a tough one for me. I'm quick to go. And this takes a certain level of discipline to not react when things go crazy, but to pause when something happens that we didn't expect, that's frustrating, that we panic, and to force ourselves to pause and take a breath and center ourselves and say, hey, let me put a plan together. Let me shift. Let me take a moment to create a new reality in my head, and maybe even a strategy on paper, but there's something about pausing before simply reacting. And then, in this notion of agility, when something crazy happens, you just say, okay, what else? When a plan fails, okay, what else? I think, like I've tried to demonstrate in my life, when something crazy happens, I think it's an opportunity. I lost my business with my business partner. It was an opportunity to create a new one. It was an opportunity to be free. It was an opportunity to have my business on my own. It was an opportunity to shift gears and do my own thing. 10 minutes. All right, I'm going. What else? This notion of being agile is about asking about what are the other possibilities. And so on reflection, think of a recent time when things didn't go as planned. How did you react? What could you have done differently? What is one rigid habit or belief you hold that might be holding you back from adapting to some new opportunities? How can you practice being more flexible in your personal and professional life this week? How many people are married? Oh yeah, agility. You know about agility. Agility. You know about it. You know about agility. You know about agility. Let's go to this notion of vulnerability. Vulnerability. Growth begins where comfort ends. I admit it. My brother admitted, this whole notion of what it means to be vulnerable is very, very difficult for some people. But sometimes the thing that is the most difficult yields the most opportunity, and again, is the most liberating. Who we share, how we share, share a current struggle with someone. A trusted friend, a mentor, a challenge that you're going through. It doesn't have to be a big one, but something small. And by the way, let's get in the habit of sharing some of our struggles with people that we trust. Because I know we're all presenting, in dating, what do they say? You present your best self during the dating thing, but then you get to the, what's it called? The representative. Yeah, we all, thank you. The representative, see, the single people, we know what to do. We all do it. We all show our representative all day long, the best part of us most of the time, because we don't really want to show people the real. But I submit to you, my friends, that, when we are real and when we do demonstrate the real with people in our lives and people that we trust and that we're close to, and even people that we lead, again, it's an opportunity, it's liberating, it's freeing. Admit when we're wrong. Whew. We're all the married people again? Yeah, that's right. Admit when you are wrong. We're all the married people again? Raise your hand again. That's right. Admit when you are wrong. And sometimes admitting that we're wrong is a superpower. It demonstrates real truth and strength. Find an area where we fell short and admit that we're wrong. I'm a bit overwhelmed today, but I'm managing. It's all right to say that. I'm overwhelmed. I'm struggling, but I'm making it through it. You know, I had a rough morning. My baby earled on me, you know, but I'm making it. You know, it was tough. And then drop the fine default. When someone asks you how you doing, we all have this, I know I do. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. All is good. All is well. If you're having a difficult day, offer a small piece of truth just by saying, I'm overwhelmed today, but I'm managing. I'm making it through it. Vulnerability is a bridge at the end of the day. It really is an opportunity. So here are a couple of reflections. When you have tried to handle a major stress completely on your own, how did that isolation affect your energy? Sometimes when we're holding, like, how did that affect your energy? Think of a time that you successfully admitted a mistake to a colleague or a loved one. What shifted in that relationship after you told the truth? What shifted? What is one uncomfortable emotion or truth you are currently avoiding, and how might acknowledging it help you move forward? Let's go number 5, network. Hey, look, I'll say the same thing I said to the young people to you. Show me your friends, and I will show you your future. Relationships create opportunities that effort alone cannot. One of the young people said, you know, well, I don't just want to be around people just for what, this is one of the young people said to me the other day. I don't want to be around people just for what they can do for me. I said, you are absolutely right. And as a matter of fact, it's an opportunity. And I say to you, sometimes you just got to reach out to people with no agenda. Right. This is one of the areas of my life I think I've probably done this whole notion of building relationships, authentic relationships where people, you know how you know you got a good relationship? When people see you, and this is how I know in my case, whether it's business or otherwise, you know the first person they ask about? How's your mama doing? Because the relationship has advanced from business, goals, revenue, charts, because I must have let them know something about me, and I must have been open enough that the first thing most people ask me, how's your mama doing? Mayor, was that not one of the first things you asked me? How's your mama doing? It's taking relationships beyond the surface. You know, people talk about networking. They talk about, you know, I exchange cards with you. You exchange cards with me. Oh man, we network. No. We just exchange card. It's this notion of building relationships where I actually reach out to you, right? And say, hey, the next time in town, can we have coffee and can we talk about ways that we can build? I'm gonna learn more about you. And I reach out to people with no agenda. Reach out to people with no agenda. And then, sounds simple, but give as much as you get. There's something about building a resilient network of people where you actually give more than you actually get in return, and it all ends up coming back full circle. Identify one person in your circle who could benefit from your unique skills or resources that you have this week. Share an insightful article. Reach out and just check on somebody, just say hello for no reason at all. Send a note to somebody that you met. You got a stack of business cards in your drawer, in your desk, at home somewhere. Just pick one. Just reach out to somebody and just watch what the power of just that, just what it does. And then, I think we talked about it earlier, engage in active listening. A lot of times, I got 1 minute, Lord have mercy. Engage in active listening. And a lot of times we get so caught in talking, making our point. Man, one of the ways to pull people in is just be quiet and listen and be an ear. I'm not going to go through the reflections on this. I think we talked a lot about vulnerability. And then we've got focus. It's hard for all of us to focus. I don't care if you're young, old. I'm on Instagram all the time. I'm on social media. I'm not on Facebook. But it's so many things in our lives that pull for our attention and take our focus. I was sitting with the chief of police last night, and we were just talking about what it means and how, and he literally pulled out his phone and we were going through the numbers of how the statistics are going down. But he told me that the only way he was able to do that is because he had to get hyper focused. Because he said even for him, it was so much stuff distracting, but the way that and so he was actually able to connect his level of focus to the outcomes for the city in crime reduction. This is what he was showing me. We were going through numbers last night. It takes that kind of focus on one thing at a time. Sometimes you got to set a timer for little focus moments in the day. Schedule intentional breaks. Schedule intentional breaks. Were you the mayor? No, it doesn't matter. Schedule intentional breaks. And then habit number 7, there are reflections there, this notion of being doggedly determined. Just nothing is going to get on your way. Nothing is going to stop you. Adopt these rules, anchor yourself in deep reason, reframe rejection, and use that as information, a data point on how do I get better. Somebody says no, something can't happen. Take that data point and use it to become better. And then lastly, this is my favorite, this notion of faith. This notion of just keeping hope alive. This notion of reaching for stuff that we can't see and stuff that we can't touch. This notion of realizing that how important faith is in building ourselves and our resilient journey. Create a daily grounding practice. Document the obstacles that you overcome. Sometimes you got to remember the stuff that you've been through, the stuff that you've gone through and how you made it over it in order for you to realize like, man, if I made it through this before, then what? And so that's why I don't mind. I may lose another business because I made it through one already. So I'm not scared about what may come. I'm not worried about what may come because I've already, this reminder of what we have already overcome and made it through and documented our obstacles. And then lean on a community of people who believe. Yeah. Keep people around you who believe that although we can't see it, although we can't touch it, although we can't feel it, it's still achievable. It's still doable, right? Crazy, lofty goals. Again, another thing I enjoyed about my discussion with the chief, he was very intentional in telling me, man, Lamel, I set crazy goals about, crime. He told me to go even for this year about how many, real crimes, and then what happens, what may seem crazy actually becomes possible and achievable. It looks crazy, but then that becomes the North Star and you can't see it. You don't know how you're going to achieve it. You don't know how you're going to do it, but it's something called faith that gets us there. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just give them another round of applause. Lot of meat. I like that we have the workbook because it's the cliff notes to all that other meat in there. I'm gonna bring to the stage this individual. If you ever need tips on the perfect campsite, the next must-see destination, or just a reminder to actually know how much PTO you still have. Here she is. She loves camping, loves traveling, and yes, that's a love. And makes it a goal to take about 6 trips a year. Now, full transparency, after about 2 days, she ready to come home. She get a little homesick. With that being said, she knows at the end of the day, there's nothing like family and nothing beats family time. If you would, please allow me to introduce my chief, Miss Jamila Woods, HR Director.
Dr. McMorris.
Yes, ma'am.
Your work has given us so much more than words on page.
Thank you.
It has provided a roadmap for resilience. The 8 habits you share: attitude, work ethics, agility, vulnerability, networking, focus, dogged determination, and faith are things that many of us do from time to time. But what you have challenged us to do is something greater, to move beyond occasional practice and make these habits a part of who we are, to lean into them, to depend on them, and to live with intention. So today it is my privilege, as I welcome you and the mayor to the stage, to present you with a gift as a token of our appreciation for the wisdom and guidance you have shared with me and with all of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And please accept, on behalf of the city of Birmingham,
Thank you.
this token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'll shut up. We can open it? Ooh.
It was mine.
Wow.
So everybody, this is the Putting People First Award presented to Dr. Linnell McMorris.
Wow. Wow. Wow.